All right, Mitch Harper and his family, they need to get on a plane to go on vacation to Disneyland. So he's going to step away, and I, Matt Baiamonte, will wrap things up for you for the next hour or so here on Cougar Sports Saturday. Hour number 3, so at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, for those of you listening on the stream, not in the state of Utah. Kevin Young, the interview we had with him a few days ago, we will replay that at 2 p.m. right here on KSL News Radio. Great insight from him on the portal, on the roster that's coming in. He touches on A.J. DeBonsa, Rob Wright. Hey, he even talks about the NBA a little bit. So, Kevin Young, that interview we will replay at 2 p.m. But with the news yesterday of Kennard Davis, the 6'6" guard transfer from Southern Illinois, he is joined the program. I think this roster is really coming together. And Dawson Baker officially announced that he is coming back to BYU, as did Brody Kozlowski. One portal thing we have not talked about yet, Elijah Crawford made a commitment. And it was a bit of a surprise, if I'm being honest with you. I was really holding out hope that there would be a world in which Elijah Crawford could return to BYU. However, that is not the case. He is signing with UIC, the Flames. I'm not even sure what UIC stands for. I need to figure that out because I'm like, UIC? Who the heck is UIC? But he is going to play for UIC, the Flames. Good for, they're a college out of Chicago. So, good for him. University of Illinois, Chicago. There we go. Figured it out. So that's where Elijah Crawford is going. And then Kennard Davis is a 6'6" transfer from Southern Illinois. What is it with the Salukis and always finding a way to get brought into these BYU conversations? It happened in football. Now it's happening in hoops. But that's a big addition. And I think if you look at the roster now, there's still maybe 2 more spots that I'd like to see filled. But you can get a really good sense of what this group is going to look like. Your point guard is Rob Wright. Your shooting guard, it's either going to be Kennard Davis or Dawson Baker. It just depends if you want more of Baker's playmaking, which right now, if they don't bring in another point guard, then Dawson Baker might need to be the backup point guard, and he would become a 6-man. If you can find another backup point guard, maybe you fit him in alongside Rob Wright and the starting group. So that shooting guard starting position, it will be interesting to see who ends up winning that role, the starting role, and what else becomes of the guy who doesn't start. Because I think even if you don't start, there's going to be a big role for Kennard Davis and Dawson Baker. Small forward, you want Richie Saunders, and you're keeping that spot for him. He hasn't decided yet. He has until tonight to put his name into the NBA draft waters. So we should be finding out soon. Maybe we'll find out in this show what Richie Saunders is going to do. I think you then go small-ish with AJ at the 4. AJ is incredibly versatile. He's one of the best players in the country for a reason. I think even if, I don't know, maybe there's a world too, though, where you go out and get another stretch 4 and you move AJ down to 3, Richie down to 2 with Rob Wright. I don't know. But AJ's in the starting lineup somewhere. Right now I have him at number 4, and then, of course, Keba Keita. The bench, Mihailo Boskovic, either Baker or Kennard Davis. I would put in the transfer from Washington, Diomande. He's definitely in the mix. I see him being a 3-and-D type, maybe slotting in and filling that mag role. And then Brody Kozlowski, he's running it back, and he developed into someone that gets 10 to 15 minutes. What about Xavier Staten, I think he's going to find the floor as well. So right there, you have 9 guys. Maybe you bring Max Triplett back. He gives you some depth. So this roster is really close to being done and completed. And I think if no one else joined, which, you still need to bring in a couple guys for depth, but this has the makings to be a really, really high-level roster that can do a lot of damage in the NCAA tournament. And if you bring Richie back and the chemistry's there and you get high-end play from AJ DeBonsa, maybe, you don't need him necessarily to play like Cooper Flagg did, because Cooper was the number 1 player in college basketball coming into this season, lived up to the hype, won player of the year, it's going to be the number 1 pick. You'd love for that to be the case with AJ DeBonsa. It doesn't need to be for it to be a success, but if he plays at that level, then you're talking about the type of season that BYU basketball has never had before. But this roster is coming together nicely. And I still think that, maybe another shooter, maybe another big, and then I think you're in a really good spot to being able to make a deep tournament run. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, I want to have some more thoughts on Jimmer Fredette. I know we talked about the retirement with Mitch a moment ago, but I want to dive a little deeper into Jimmer's career and why I do think he is the best player to ever play basketball at BYU. So I'll do that next. Stay with us here. And then, of course, Kevin Young coming up at 2 p.m., our interview that we had, Mitch and myself, earlier in the week. So stay with us here on Cougar Sports Saturday, and it's powered by KSL Sports.